So it's kind of depressing. Things have slowed down a little bit in some ways here on the farm. It's getting so dark so early. There's really hard to get a whole lot done after work during the week, and weekends have started to get busy. We're back at the local farmers market. We haven't been there in many years, and so that takes up a good bit of the Saturdays, and not complaining at all, because that has been absolutely awesome, and we do appreciate everybody that came out and showed their support. We're educating people about lamb and lamb meat. Most people are unfamiliar with it, so it's doing a lot of education and a lot of teaching about the meat itself, and and things of that nature. So we appreciate everybody that's shown an interest. Absolutely. Unfortunately, we still have not been able to complete our chicken house project. I'm gonna do some bush hogging today. The reason I'm doing some bush hogging is to get down the last remaining bit of the goat weed and junk stuff that's out in the pastures, because we're at kind of a conundrum, and every farmer faces these questions. We have no grass because we've had no rain, but if we want to have grass to extend our winter grazing as long as possible, we're going to have to seed, which is expensive. But for the seed to do anything, you have to have rain. Do you see where I'm going with this? So we're looking at seeding the fields. Unfortunately, we are going to be seeding with a annual, which there's two different kinds of seeds. There's annuals, which will come up, grow, and for a season, and then very little of any of that will carry over to the next season. And then there are perennials. Perennials are things that will drop seed, mature to seed. They'll drop seed, and next season, when temperature, moisture, everything is right, it'll come back on its own. Unfortunately, perennial seed is 2 to 3 times more expensive than annuals. In the past 3 to 4 years, hard frost have been more. Late January, February has been our roughest time, and then it warms up pretty quickly after that, which then the natural fescues and natural pasture grasses that we already have can then kind of take over. That's the hope. That's the prayer, and that's the hard spot that every farmer faces when you deal with situations like this. First 2 fields I'm going to be working on are fields that I had already worked on, but just kind of ran low on time and fuel. Everybody came to see what was going on, because they're used to the bush hogging, meaning that they're fixing to move to another field. But unfortunately, girls, it ain't any better over here than it is down there. Well, I finally got this first field finished, and I'll tell you, it's kind of depressing for me. I can't recall a time that the pastures have been in this bad a condition. We've had no rain for almost 2 months now, no real measurable rain. We've been through, since we've been on this place, we've been through 100+ degree temperatures and heat indexes nearing 120. We've been through negative degree wind chills, which are near unheard of in this part of the country. But in all that time, I really don't think things have ever looked this bad. The pastures are thin, to say the least. This one I'm on right now, there's not been anything on here for 6 weeks. And that's it. That's all that's out here. Nothing. Lack of rain hit at just like a time to cause a perfect storm. You know, grasses, when they're young, they need good moisture, good nutrients to get a good start and get established. But once they're established, they can handle those lacks a little better. So it's kind of depressing. But we do what we always do. We just move on. Field number 2. Yeah, I've got one more. Promise you that I won't get all of it done. Getting a little low on fuel. Speaking of which, got to get the trash out of the fuel filter. Getting an alert there. I have never had the trouble that I've had this year of losing those pins up there. Okay? Never, ever. I don't know what it is. Well, I might have mentioned it before. Maybe I haven't, I don't know. But this time of year is really my least favorite time of year. Late fall and winter. Because honestly, I tell everybody all the time that I don't like winter that much, not just because of the cold, but because I really don't get to see my animals much till about March. this time of year when I pull the bale feeder, which is usually the night before that I put out another bale the next day, I move it each time. Now sometimes in the dead of winter, because it's cold and miserable and everything, I might feed twice in the same spot, but I try to move it if at all possible. What's left behind is really good for the soil. It breaks down, it adds organic matter to the soil, and so that helps all the way around. Yeah. The girls have been through their supplement tubs a little faster than I anticipated. I got some replacements, but I got the wrong ones. Oops, nobody gets hurt. Plus, the hay bale over here in that rack right there that they're eating off of. I'm gonna have to try to top it. That's what we call it, just topping it, because I don't know if you can see from here, but they've kind of ate into the sides a little bit, and it makes it pretty unstable on that rack. So I'm going to see if I can take the tractor forks and maneuver it a little bit to kind of peel some of that off so it's not so top heavy. One of the hardest things is keeping the tubs on the pallet. Of course, the tubs are made out of plastic, which is slick. So on the boards of the pallet, they slide around a lot. Well, for a couple of minutes, the neighbor's cows thought these might be for them. This is going to be the biggest battle, is keeping them out of the way while I get in there. They're used to being rotated on pastures, but unfortunately there's nothing out here. So it's easier to keep them in a smaller space so that they're not constantly walking and looking for something to eat. They tend to lose weight, lose body condition, and don't do as well. So we've kept them in a smaller place. It's about acre and a half, and provide tubs and the hay and plenty of water to get them through this dry spell. Go. Go. Okay. This is going to be a little more difficult than I thought. This is what I'm talking about, this thing being cored and getting very unstable. So I'm going to see if I can push this top layer back here to kind of stabilize it this way. I said these racks are really awesome for helping control waste, but unfortunately they're a little bit tall for sheep, so it's kind of hard to keep it where they're not just eating the whole core out and making it very unstable.